Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Defy Aging, and we are in week 20. So it's another increment of 10. So in those weeks, we do mobility. So welcome to Mobility Week. So this week we have 5 stations, which is actually the same as last week, coincidental. And we're going to be doing 60 seconds on, 30 seconds off. And I think that the longer work sets, working intervals are good for mobility weeks, because oftentimes our mobility movements are just a little more slow and focused, controlled. You want all of your exercises to be controlled, but to get that slow focus, I think it's good to just dedicate a little more time to each movement so you don't have to feel like you have to rush through them. So 60-second sets with a 30-second transition, so we have plenty of time to maybe get up off the floor and rotate to the next station and get set up for whatever that might be without feeling rushed. And yeah, so that is the setup with, again, 5 exercises and a fun little finisher at the end that's going to kind of test our brains a little bit as well. So let's get to some demonstrations. Our first station, we need some wall space. So this might be tricksy for maybe some of the clubs that have just stuff along all of the walls. The mirrors should be okay because we aren't pushing a ton of pressure. We're really just putting a little pressure and then touching. So they'll get smudged up. So we will have to, sorry for our maintenance people that do have to wash them. But it's not a ton of pressure, so the mirrors should be okay. But hopefully most of the clubs do have a little bit of wall space. So, but it's also might be a hard one for me to demo because we can't get a great angle for, anyway, so you'll see. So it's called the clock. It's shoulder mobility. But it's a little bit of core work in it too, minimal, but a little bit, so bonus. So we start by doing kind of a very modified forearm plank against the wall. So that's where the little bit of core work comes into play. But so it's very important we're not just like bending at the waist like this. We want to be in that diagonal form. And again, forearms on the wall. We're going to do one arm for the first 30 seconds and switch arms halfway through. So the clock, you can kind of do this one however you want, really, but picture a clock. So I'm going to start with my right arm. So I would reach my right arm up to 12 o'clock, and I'm going to come back to the center. Now I'm going to reach my arm out to what would be like 3 o'clock. Of course, you can't see that. Maybe it was stupid to start with my right. Come back to center. The hardest part is going straight down, and I'm going to reach my arm down to what would be like 6 o'clock. Now, you couldn't probably see all that. Let me try my left arm. I'm going to reach my arm up to 12 o'clock, back down, out to this would what would be 9 o'clock, back in, and then all the way down to 6 o'clock and back in. Okay, so it's just trying to get that full 180 with the shoulder in all those different positions. You can, like I said, you can kind of do this one how you like. If you want to go up and then straight out to the side and then straight down and then go back, you can. But to be honest, part of the mobility is the out and in and up and in as well. So I do recommend coming back to that home base between each arm position. You can go to different times too. If you want to go to 11 o'clock, that's fine. If you want to go to 2 o'clock, that's fine. It doesn't have to just be those set times. So that's where I said you can kind of have fun with it and do it how you want. But everything is slow and controlled. So, we're not just kind of like, and you want a full extension, so we're not just kind of bringing the arm out, little movements, fully extend that elbow if you can. And again, the down is the hardest part. So that one it's weird. It's kind of fun. Takes some getting used to, but it's called the clock. Have fun with it, and let's see how you like it. All right, next station. This one, I just called it the up and over. I don't really know a better name for it. If you're sitting on the floor like this, I think we can just use one item. If you're going to do the modified version, which I'll show you next, of course, I think we'll use 2. If your club has the small orange cones, I think those are best. My club here doesn't have those, so kettlebells work just fine. I wouldn't recommend a dumbbell, though, because they're up on its end, because it's too easy to tip. So kettlebells are good. So what this is, it's a hip and hip flexor mobility, some legs, a little bit of thigh strengthening. You can lean back on your hands if you'd like to. Actually, it's recommended. And we go up and over the kettlebell with your foot. A little far. There we go. You're gonna feel a lot of this muscle here, your thigh. Now, I'm doing it like the maybe slightly advanced, hardest way to do it. If that is a little too much, what you can do is bend this other leg. This gives you a little added stability, kind of some leverage. So I'm using this foot to sort of push into the floor to give me, again, just a little added leverage. So I would recommend starting like this. And then if this feels like maybe too easy, or you feel like you want to try something harder, then straighten out the leg and go for this. Okay? Switching halfway through, all we have to do is kind of reposition your body maybe 1 or 2 inches and simply switch legs. So anyone staying off the floor, we've done this many times in our regular routine. It's going to be a seated step over. Just a slight variation. Oops. This is where I'd recommend, if you're doing this version, that you have 2 items already set up, and you're going to put 1 on each side. So we don't have to waste a lot of time switching sides, because you don't have to stop for like a whole 5 seconds, switch your kettlebell from side to side. Sit up nice and tall, step up and over. But do make sure that you're actually going over, I'll show you from the side, that you're actually going over the item. See how my foot is going directly on top of it? What can kind of sometimes happen without us realizing it is we kind of go in front of it like this, and then we're not nearly lifting up high enough, and the point is to get that height. So make sure we're not accidentally kind of going in front of it. Make sure you're lifting up and over it if you're doing that seated version. All right, so let's try that over, up and over. Is that what I called it? Over and back, up and over. The floor or the bench. Next one, A-frame mobility. This one is a little bit tricksy. So there is a way to do this where you support yourself by putting your hand on your thigh. However, we're going to do it a little more of an advanced way, but it's also just a better way to do it. It's more stable, safer, keeps things in alignment, because when you have your hand on your thigh, you'll see what we're going to do in a moment. It's really easy to kind of let your legs do this and your knee dip in and then your hips turn. We're going to set our body up in a way that doesn't allow that to happen, although it does make it a little tiny bit more complicated. You'll see what I mean. Because what we're going to do, instead of putting the hand on the thigh here, we're going to come down a little lower, put the elbow on the knee, and then the fist on the inside of the other knee. So what this does is completely brace, so my knees cannot waver. They can't do this. They are locked. They're braced. This other arm's down. We're going to rotate as far as you are able. And actually, in a way, that braced leg position is nice now, because now I have a little bit of leverage when I'm rotating. I have some leverage to kind of dig that elbow into my leg, whereas with this, you don't have that leverage. You feel a little more loosey-goosey. It's kind of a give and take. Okay, fist on the inside of the thigh, elbow on this knee. Let your head follow your hand. Rotate just up as far as you're able. Control it back down. You always let your head follow your hand. See how I'm looking up at my hand, and now I'm watching my hand come back down. What we don't do is keep our gaze forward, but do this. So we always let the head follow where the hand is going. And we're in a hinged position. See how my back's nice and flat, soft bend in my knees, and I'm in a hinged position. We're not like holding an isometric squat. No, I hinged at my hip till my elbow is on my knee. My head is about, my heart's about level with my, parallel, so I'm not getting head below my heart. And then we'll switch sides halfway through. Again, elbow on the knee, fist on the inside of the other knee, arm down. My head is following my hand. Come up as far as you're able, and back down. Now again, if my hand was here, it's really easy to do this and sink that knee in. And that's what we don't want to do. Okay? A little bit different. Now, if that is maybe too low for you to come down, not comfortable, for some reason that's not working, we're going to do a seated version of this, and it's actually exactly the same. Sit on a bench, elbow on the knee, fist on the inside of the leg here, arm starts the outside of the leg, and everything is exactly the same. Only difference is you're going to be seated, have a little more support with your bench, okay? Another new one. Let's give it a try. We have 3 rounds to practice it and perfect it. And next we have 90-90 mobility. Now I know we have the 90-90 rotation, which is the isometric stretch in our cool down. We're going to do the 90-90 mobility movement here for the routine. I know we've done this in the past. I think we did it 2 or 3 mobility weeks ago. So you can start in 90-90. No, this is our stretch and our cool down. So start here, lean back on your hands, and we come up, feet now flat on the floor, and we switch sides. So basically you're really just switching sides continually. Slow, hold each one for 2 to 3 seconds. Just go as far as you're able in each position. So there's 2 things here you can do. You can either consciously kind of every time you switch positions, you can kind of scoot your butt forward just a little bit. Or every 3 or 4 reps, you'll have to reposition yourself, because if you don't pay attention to that, every rep, your butt kind of scoots forward, and that's just the nature. See how far away I'm getting from my hands? That's kind of just the nature. You kind of are crawling. So again, either every rep, you're just kind of scooting in with each rep, or every 3 or 4 reps, you'll have to sort of stop and reposition it, and that's totally fine. That's just, again, the nature of this. Now, anyone staying off of the floor, not doing our floor exercises, you can do this one on a bench. It's just a little tricksy, but it does work. So you're going to have to sit right on the edge, support yourself with your hands, and you can really, feet are nice and wide to start, so a big gap between the knees here. You really just push your knees, not like I'm doing it with my hands, but imagine you're pushing your knees as much as you can down to the floor, up to center, switch sides. You can even kind of let your butt come off the bench just a little on the one side. Reposition. Other side, no, I'm letting my butt come off the bench like just a hair on this side. So the range of motion, or the intensity of the stretch, I should say, is a tiny bit less, but it does work. So that'll be anyone staying off the floor. Give that one a try. All right, last but not least, this is called an arm elevator. So we have our mini band for this one. I don't like how high this is. And we're going to put it right in the middle of the forearms, like this, palms in. So we put a little outward pressure. It doesn't have to be a ton, so just enough so that it's taut, a little bit of tension, okay? And we start at about maybe a little past 90, but just up here. And we go slowly all the way up until your arms are as tall as your range of motion allows. So for me, I can get my arms all the way up to the ceiling like this. Go as high as you can. Keep that little bit of tension. And then you slowly bring them back to the start position. We're trying to do this. I recommend maybe putting the station in front of a mirror, because the arms can start to do some like wonky angles like this. We're trying not to allow this to happen. We're trying to keep that alignment straight up and down with the forearms. And there you'll feel that tension and that challenge in the shoulders right away, which is kind of part of the goal. Again, we're not doing this. So we're trying to keep that alignment with those forearms. Show you from different angles if that makes any difference. Why did I do that for 20 seconds? It's extremely tiring, so don't be a hero and grab the firmest resistance band. Grab medium, light to medium perhaps. But it's a challenge. Definitely do that in front of a mirror so you can watch. Again, we're trying not to allow those elbows to flare out. We're trying to keep this nice parallel arm position for the whole time. Okay, arm elevator, give it a try. And our finisher, I'm not going to call it a team builder because we're not working as a team with this one. I toss this in about once a year. So our longtime coaches know it, our longtime clients know it. But I think it'll be new for many of you as well. It's a brain teaser. So we're kind of taking this mobility week as kind of a deload week, which means we kind of ease back on the higher intensity stuff. So I thought this was a good week to toss this in as well. So you're going to utilize your hands, and then your brain is going to get very tired here. So what we're going to do is we have this hand position on one hand, and we have this hand position on another hand. I haven't done it for a while. I should have practiced. And the goal is to switch the hand positions at the same time. So that's the hard part. It's easy to switch them one at a time, but switching the position simultaneously, I did it. Whew, I was nervous to try that. I haven't tried it for like a year. That's the hard part. So we try to switch that hand position at the same time. This is all it is, but it's very hard. I've been doing this for years, so it's kind of like riding a bike for me at this point, because I've done it 5 billion times. But it is very hard to nail it down and to get it down. You're gonna see a lot of this. You're gonna see a lot of all 5 fingers out. But that should never be the case. It should always either be this or be this. Okay, so it's gonna practice it before your first session, and then you'll have 2 or 3 minutes to work on it at the end of each session. And if you repeat Defy throughout the week, you'll work on it a few times. It's kind of fun though. It's frustrating, but once you get it, it's really exciting. So have fun with that one. It's a little cognitive brain teaser, and that's our finisher for the week. Okay, another mobility week is in the books. We got our body taken care of, and a little bit of the brain too. So I hope you enjoyed this week. See you back for week 21, and I hope also everyone is enjoying the new warm up and cool down movements as well. So see you next time.